Hello and welcome to another episode of Mr. Z.
And fifth
Yeah, man. Yeah, we're going to continue our topic
from last week.
man. And boy, that was a hot topic. Interracial dating. Boy, that was a hot topic, man. And can't wait to embark on that again. Man, there's so much things to talk about when it comes to interracial dating, man. And we looked at different perspectives of it. We looked at both the black woman dating the white man and the black man dating the white woman. We look at both perspectives, and we look at and not only just black and white. We also look at different we date black folks dating different nationalities and different ethnicities and everything. So we're gonna look on that and just talk about that right now, man. And man, experience, but and we also discuss about how our folks, black folks, we always are very always open our homes to different ethnicities and people of different background. We're always so welcoming, and sometimes we just wish that the other ethnicities and other people of background was more opening to us when we start dating their daughters or so on and you know what I mean.
Hey, well, let me just get in here and say this though. Why do you think? Okay, actually, before we get into that, let's talk about what happened recently. The Houston Texans owner Bob McNair said in front of his players while in response to the protest, the kneeling protest, he had stated that, and this is in front of his players, he said, we can't have our inmates controlling the prison. So he's calling the players inmates, and he's calling the NFL prison. My question:
what kind of thing is this? Oh, because the NFL is black.
Let's just put it like this. To use a metaphor like that when talking to black players, after they already originally are following the protests of Colin Kaepernick against police brutality, the last thing you want to do is say that to them. But this just goes to show you what him and other owners feel. And I actually wanted him to not double down. I wanted him to not pull it back. I wanted him to double down on his stance and be like, yeah, I said it.
Why would he say something like that?
No, I'm glad he said it. I'm glad he said it. I'll explain why I believe I'm glad. I'm glad he said it because I'd rather I know where you stand. I want to know where you stand from the beginning. I don't want to know later when my life is on the line. I would like to know now. So I like the fact that he was honest, and I encourage more owners. I wish Jerry Jones would have said that, because if Jerry Jones would have said that, they would have made a bigger deal about it, because Jerry Jones is basically the king of the NFL, basically.
Yes, he is. Yeah,
not Roger Goodell, him.
Yes.
He's one of the most top sports owners of all sports, period. Okay? You know him, you know his name, you know his name. That's a name you know. When you say it, you're like, oh, okay. So Jerry Jones and sports go hand in hand, just based off of his name, stature. So I want to hear. I want more honesty. Okay.
Yeah, man. It's just wow. He just came out of his mouth and just said what he said. Inmates.
How do you think they should respond to that?
Oh man, well, my opinion is that, man, when you look at a bunch of you look at a bunch of black men in the NFL, and then you're gonna call us inmates, like we have another stress on our plate. They just look at us and call us inmates. Inmates are we're making a living off of this, making money, and entertaining the public with sport, the NFL sports, National Football League, and then you're gonna call us inmates. That's a slap in the face, man. That's a big slap in the face.
Please believe it.
It's a it's a disrespectful, racial slap in the face to us, man. And it's definitely not respected coming out of his mouth, man. this goes to show that what's embedded in his heart. It goes to show how he really feels, and it goes to show that, you know, they don't. It's kind of ill feelings towards us, like in other words, Kaepernick is right. Run, brother. Yeah, you go, nigga. Just make it run, brother, run. Forget about how we feel. Forget about if our children are being harassed by the police. Just run. Don't say nothing. Just run and get that money. That's it.
And this is why we love our brother Kaepernick so much, because this is the very thing that helps his protest.
Yo, let me tell you something. I have to jump in the same one, Fifth. You know they got them brothers out there that think Kaepernick is a fool.
Yeah, and
yeah.
And they're so-called, when they knew him, probably shook hands with him, and then now, because they don't want to stand in support with him and be ostracized like him, they've now have said to the good old their masses. Yeah, AKA NFL owners, team owners. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm not gonna kneel. You ain't gotta worry about me kneeling.
I just want to play.
True. If you ask me, these players are kneeling for something else. If you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, so I mean, that's just how it is, man. That's just how it is. It's sad, Here's what I want to say. I want these players to just walk off the field, man. Just don't even play. Don't even play. He referred to you as an inmate. Now your manhood has been pushed. It's bad enough you had Trump calling you sons of bees, and they should fire them. Mm-hmm. Now you got this man. I think that's worse than Trump calling them sons of bees.
That's even worse. Yeah.
In my opinion.
Shoot. Inmates. All the disrespect in the world.
Yeah, how do you think they should respond to this though? Like, do you think the protest should go up a notch? Like, what extreme measures now? Are we talking extreme measures of protest?
You know
now?
what? We have great because they use Kaepernick as an example. So now, I mean, what the players now is in dilemma. They can be like, well, if we protest, we might get fired like Kaepernick. We might not even get back in. They might just say, you know what? You don't have a contract anymore, but wouldn't that be something though? Most of the brothers just walk off the field, or just say, you know, when the national anthem come on, we're just gonna kneel. We're not gonna. Imagine that be something.
The kneeling ain't enough at this point.
But okay, what if they just walk off?
I want that right on television.
Okay, they walk off the field, and wouldn't that be something if they just all got together and just walk off the field, and then next thing you know, it's like Jerry Jones is saying, "Wait a minute, I need you. I need you. How are we gonna make our money? How are we gonna make how are we gonna make this money, man? Why y'all leaving? Yo,
I want that to happen though, right on TV.
How was the ratings though for the NFL right now? Because I've been watching so much.
Look, they care more about the Super Bowl ratings because the Super Bowl ratings could basically help everything for them. But they say it's a little lower than usual. That's what they say. And they're blaming it on the protests.
Yeah, Good. Yeah. That's what we wanted.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm not watching. My NFL boycott continues. I mean, please. Stuff like that, I'm glad I'm boycotting.
And what? And
some people are now boycotting. Some people heard this, and it's the straw that broke the camel's back. Now they're boycotting. Some are not even going to boycott nothing. We're talking about coons. We're talking about people who are like coons. We're talking about.
I know a coon yesterday that said, you know what? I'm not listening to Kaepernick. I'm watching my end. I'm watching my NFL. Kaepernick is a fool. He has no job. I'll do. This cool that's been drinking a lot of coon juice and coon water. Said that he basically said, man, you know what? I'll do anything for that money. So man, I'm watching the NFL. I'm watching the NFL. Kaepernick is a
fool. He'll do anything for that money.
But you know what?
Including a sexual favor, huh?
That's right. That's what, you know what? And I told that my response is that, you know what? People like we'll be still in segregate. We'll be still in Jim Crow if it was for people like you.
Thank you. We still be getting whipped, beat,
horses,
shot, stabbed, raped in that order.
Yeah, and fire hoses sprayed at us.
Dogs. Too. I mean, it's bad enough. We got cops and white supremacists getting away with killing us without impunity. It's bad enough we still have that happen in year 2017. But yeah, exactly. If we had, look, you have black people out there who do that. What about, you have those, what about black on black crime, black folks, every time we address white supremacy.
Yeah.
Those are the people that are still watching the NFL because they feel nothing's going to change anyway. Yes. So I might as well go along to get along. That's compromising.
That's compromising. You know, if Dr. King taught like that, and
NFL, like, let me tell you something. Football ain't that important to me to the point where I'm going to be. It ain't that important to me. It's not. And it never will be. My self-respect comes first. You know, there's a lot of things we got to go through. You know what it is? You know, it's bad enough we got to deal with white supremacy on our jobs because, you know, black people don't own 500 industries and companies. So we have no choice. If we want to get a job, we have to work, you know, for whomever. You know who I'm talking about.
Yes,
that's true. But the goal is, if you're going to be like me, myself, is to take those resources and build your own business. You know what I'm saying? To deal with white supremacy as minimal as possible. You know?
And that's a problem with us, man. And we was taught from generation to generation to work and not to own our own. There's only a few of us that taught our children that had passed down inheritance for their children so they can pick up a trade or feed themselves or leave a property so they can basically live off of the inheritance of their parents. There's only a few, but it's a sprinkle. I would say it's a sprinkle. What I mean by a sprinkle, only you can count them on less than half a hand. We tend to just say, okay, we go nothing wrong with going to school, then we're gonna get a job, and that's where it stops. It should be like the Boyce Watkins said, we should circulate money in our own community so we can build for ourselves and stop dependent on working for the man.
There you have it.
You know, so it's just something that, you know, like what Dr. Boyce Watkins says, not just, you know, people always say, okay, money. You can start with little and then build from there. You don't have to have a whole lot.
Right.
I know it depends on what you do, but you have to start somewhere. You can talk a good dream, but you got to put it to action. If you don't put it to action, if you don't do nothing, what do you get?
Nothing.
You get nothing. That's the bottom line. You got to start from somewhere, ladies and gentlemen out there.
Black people need to start hanging with black people who think highly of themselves and believe in themselves and believe that as black folks that we could do good. The problem is you have a lot of black folks out here, they don't know much. They need to do some reading. They need to know some history. When we ask for questions, it's because we don't know the answers. But I guarantee you, those who always ask for questions, why does this happen? Why does that happen? How come black people can't unite on this? How come black people can't do this? You need to do some research. Once you do your research and you start to know some things, and then you'll realize, wow, this is where this started, and this is the thing that is continuing. Okay, this is what we're going to do to address this. Right. I used to be that guy. When I was waking up, I used to say a lot of things, and then I'm not that guy no more. And then some people wonder why, because I did some reading. I did some research. I talked to my people. Mm-hmm. You know, I these are things that I came to a knowledge and understanding of what we can do and what can happen. And I don't look down on my people, because the problem is a lot of black folks were taught to look down on their people.
Yes.
And this segues into what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Into our topic, interracial relationships. Mm-hmm. A lot of black people have the cord has been stricken between the black man and the black women. And so a lot of black people will seek other things for their to mask their insecurities. So a black man will, if he can't get freedom, true freedom, then he will try to get the symbols of freedom. And to him, those symbols of freedom would be money, cars, and women. And the particular women, white women.
Yeah.
You know, I might disappoint some people who are listening to this episode. They might be like, yo, I thought this was about interracial dating. It is, but we're going to talk about the reality of interracial dating from the black perspective, because it's different when you're black and you date interracially. If you're white, hey, and you're listening to this show, God bless you. I hope you're listening carefully, because if you have a black girlfriend or a black boyfriend, whoever you are, white woman, white man, these are the things that they're going through, and if they're not discussing this with you, this is what they're going through. They are, you know, you're already born into this world black. That's what you already got. You already have to deal with the systematic oppression of white supremacy, not white people, but white supremacy. There's a difference.
Yes.
And then they got to come home to you, and you're white. So then now it's like this. Okay. Here's a black man who dealt with some stuff at work out in the streets like we usually do, because this is how society is. So then he's had to deal with that. Now he got to come home to you, a white woman. The last thing he needs is a fight when he gets home. Good Lord, he already went through what he went through out in the world.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, and my whole thing is, you know, what do you say to those Zaccheus? What do you say to those people who say you can't help who you love?
Well, they say they can't help who you love, but the first thing people say, when you choose a mate, and sometimes people choose, a lot of us men choose mates because we're attracted to them right away. We go by what we see.
Yes, talk about it, man.
And what we see is who we're attracted to. That's what we want in our bed. I'm just keeping it real.
Yes, keep it all the way real.
So when you choose a mate, you know, and a lot of us we fail. A lot of us brothers sometimes we fail to do this. We fail to choose a mate that's in every aspect that's compatible with us, because sometimes you can choose a person of different ethnicity, and sometimes a person of Caucasian or different ethnicity, and then sometimes once your children or once you face police brutality, you know, the last thing you want to hear is that, well, the cops are just doing their job.
Or he should have complied.
Or you should have complied, meaning that sometimes the officers come off angry sometimes, and sometimes you could do the right thing, but sometimes they're too angry. They don't tone it down, and they can tell you, they can ask you to either step out the car, or they can do one thing when you walk on the. Not even you don't have to even be in your car. You could be walking on the street.
Yep.
And a police officer or an officer that's undercover, that's in plain clothing, says you look suspicious. Pull you over and say, or just grab you and say, listen, you look suspicious. Or 2 or 3 officers, what happened to me like years ago. Oh, you look a little suspicious, so we're just gonna check you in the middle of the street when you're trying to get to the grocery store, or you're trying to see a friend. They can empty your pockets and make a big scene. And that alone can cause aggravation in your life. That alone, in itself, can change your whole mood for the whole entire day. And that can change your whole mood, because number one, you're fearful because you don't know if you're gonna live or not at that moment, at that time. Being a black man, you don't know, because you don't know what level they're gonna take it to. You know what I'm talking about, yep. Everyone out there, because Eric Gardner, it was not too long that happened to Eric Gardner. You know what I'm saying? So, and the last thing you want to hear is that well, what was you doing wrong, honey? When you marry when you marry someone, or you date someone that has a, I'm gonna say, compatible and has an understanding like you have an understanding, that was not raised simple, but raised to know that, listen, in these streets, you know, is not too kind to us. You know, the odds are against us, and your mate is there. The mate is there to be a comforter. The mate is there to have an understanding of your struggle, have an understanding of, and then when you raise your kids, you can raise your kids the same way, to understand, to know that, listen, that they don't like you because of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they don't like you because of who you are. It has nothing to do with, you know, you, but it has a lot to do with what you look like.
Imagine telling somebody that as a kid. That's the black struggle in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Is the fact that you try to explain this to our black kids, and there are other people who share similar struggles to us.
Yeah.
Because and I'll just say this and then get it out the way.
Mm-hmm.
So in the Latino households, this happens too, because white supremacy doesn't like them either. Especially if you are a real, I guess what I could call you a real Latino person who acknowledges their African roots, who doesn't see themselves as white, because you have a lot of people in that community. You got a lot of people who are in the non-white community, non-Caucasian community, non-Anglo community. They still want to pass as white.
Yes.
So for those who don't pass that, you are very conscious of the fact that they don't like you either. Mm-hmm. So you know, so there's a different experience for Black and Latino relationships. Black, you know, those are a little different. There's some things that can work and some things that kind of clash, but it's less. Some would say it's less difficult than the white and black dating because of just our history and stuff like that.
Yeah, see and yeah, it's a lot that goes into it, man. Because sometimes you, if you're dating someone of different ethnicity, the first thing that comes into a brother's mind is that would their family accept me? That's the first thing. That first thing that flies in your mind, or it just comes in your mind, or you let your significant other know that's not of your ethnicity. That listen, did you let your mom or dad know that I'm black, or did you let them know yet? You know, did you tell them? Did you let them know yet? Can I come in? Can I, how do they feel by you seeing someone? These are all the struggles that we gotta go through. So, but now when the tables are flipped, and a brother brings a woman home, non-black woman home, it's always welcoming. It's always warm, welcoming. Predominantly most of the time, 90% of the time, you would say, right, Fifth? It's always welcoming.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, from my experience and other people's experience, for the most part, it's more accepting on that part than on the other side. The other side is a little different. I can't really,
Yeah.
But,
so
yeah,
it's just maybe sister dating a white man. Let me see. Maybe parents may have some questions about it, but still, I guess it's almost. It's welcoming, but yeah, but we when it comes to interracial dating, these are all the things that just boggles the head and boggles your mind and everything. We're not against it. It's just that these are the struggles that that us brothers face and that we go through. So
yeah. How about now? Say you've done the I need to go back to what you said about the because I asked you about what do you say to the people who say you can't help who you love, and you said choosing mates.
Yes.
So you said the word choose.
Choose.
You. So I would say to those people that say you can't help who you love, but you can help who you choose, right?
Right.
That's what I'm trying to get to. If you are somebody who wants to go outside your race for the sake of going outside your race, I think that's the wrong way about dating. I think if you want to meet somebody and you just so happen to meet somebody who's not from your community, culture, ethnicity, that's different. There's a difference between you sporadically or spontaneously coming across something and you actually go out there and you go out there hunting. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel any man that goes outside of his race for the sake of going outside of his race is gonna find trouble at first because he's not even gonna have any. He's not gonna know what to do. He's gonna see her like any other woman, not the same. His approach is gonna be like how he approaches any other woman. That's not the same. Not every woman is approached the same.
No.
If you just so happen to come across somebody in a situation, you hit it off with this person, and then y'all dated. Let me explain my experience with that. Yeah. So, I said last episode that, I've dated somebody who was Caucasian. I have. Actually, a few times. But anyway.
Yeah.
I said that very quickly, but I just had to say this is a long time ago.
Yeah.
Not that there was anything wrong with that, but I'm just saying this was a younger me. A younger me didn't go out with white girls because I just wanted one. I just so happened to be friends with the ones, and then that's how it happened. No different from the sisters I've been with anybody else. Mm-hmm. But I'm just making a point. The friendship was there, and then an attraction started to grow. That's how that happened. I wasn't out there saying, "Yo, son, I gotta get me a snowflake." No. Those are the type of brothers and other men who are not brothers who get into trouble when they do that stuff. Mm-hmm. Because they go out there and they just get anybody. Mm-hmm. As long as they pass the white sheet of paper test. If you know what I mean.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Not paper bag, because ain't no paper bag.
Yeah. No, is it the same with online dating too? Like
Yes. Yeah. Online dating is online dating. I can't speak from the perspective of online dating. The only perspective I could speak from is being on social network and trying to slide in somebody's DMs. No, I'm just playing. But online dating is to me is physical. You got a nice picture, you're gonna get attention. You don't, you're not gonna get attention. Right. Sorry. Mm-hmm. That's why online dating is so difficult. Mm-hmm. You look better in person anyway. Right. That's just how it is. Mm-hmm. So that's a tough one. Matchmaking online, I think, can happen. I mean, you come across somebody who shares the same things as you, and they just so happen to look like something, and then it works out. But me personally, I believe drop dead gorgeous women are not online. They don't need it. They get approached often, but that doesn't mean that the type of men that approach them is what they're into. But I don't think a woman who's outrageously beautiful needs an online dating profile to meet men, unless she's being very specific. Maybe.
That's it. Wow, I never looked at it that. Wow.
You got to look at it that way. That's why a lot of men are on these online dating sites getting catfished.
Just show the show.
Yep. Good looking girl, and then he see the girl in person.
Looking like McGillicuddy. Oh no.
No, good. Like. She, you see her, you thinking her voice is gonna be nice and sensual, and then when you see her, she like, "Hey, boo, how you doing, baby?" And she look like Grimace from McDonald's, looking like
the Hunchback Notre Dame
from Notre Dame. Instead, she the Hunchback from Compton. You know what I'm saying? So online dating is hard. I'm an old school cat. I like to meet my women in the flesh first. You know what I mean? That's just how it is. Yeah. But you got to put yourself in network surroundings and your social life, pick it up a bit so that you could be around these women who look a certain way, act a certain way, who into certain things. You got to go where they are. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's just how it is. Most often, people meet each other at work. So maybe we need to save some of these other topics for a different show. But just on the basis of interracial dating. So, people who have dated people who were who were of the Latino side of the game.
Yeah.
I grew up with look, I'm from New York, right? New York City. In the projects that I grew up in, we had a family who was from the Philippines, and they wasn't scared of us or nothing like that. We had some white people there, and then we've had Puerto Ricans and stuff like that, Dominicans, whatever. And I felt like the black and Puerto Rican relationship when I was growing up, we grew up together, so we kind of saw each other normally. I didn't really, as a kid, and maybe still to this day, I might be somewhat in denial, but I usually don't see interracial. Sometimes don't classify when somebody black dates somebody Puerto Rican as a or Dominican as an interracial relationship, because if you know the history of Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic, I mean, you would know that they're black people too. Now, whether they know that is a different story.
Or whether they like to accept it.
Right. So then you need to get with the ones who do. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? To kind of alleviate that. Mm-hmm. And then some people feel that in the Latino in the Latino community, specifically Puerto Ricans and Dominicans, if they consider themselves in that community, that they've been playing the bench during a lot of the struggles. So some black folks probably feel that way. I to some point feel that way too. I feel like, look, where was the help when we needed it? And for those who were there, I salute you. You were there. For the ones who were there, I salute you. And when we were there for you, salute us back. I understand that, but I'm talking about the ones who weren't there. Right. I think what you find often in our communities, especially when it comes to police brutality, I would say in a clean sweep, I'm a black man and you a Puerto Rican brother. They getting both of us. And then on that we tend to unify. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you have those situations. Mm-hmm. But like I said, these are the ones who know who they are. The ones who don't know who they are and they want to pass for being somebody else. I don't know about that.
I don't want to say your name, but like the Mark Zimmermans, okay.
Like the George Zimmermans.
Yeah, George Zimmerman.
Yeah, because his original, one of his parents is from, I don't know, what is it, Ecuador or whatever the heck it was.
Yeah.
But Zimmerman says he's white. He don't claim his other part.
Yes, there's quite a few of them like that. My brother was telling me that in Florida. There's quite a few that people that claim that they.
Hey, you got black people who don't want to be black, and I don't suggest if you're a brother who loves your people, don't get with somebody don't get with somebody who's black who don't want to be black. You might as well get with somebody white.
Yeah. Or yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying. Mm-hmm. And I know we're throwing around terms and all that, but this is not to offend anybody. I'm just stating a point. You talked about compatibility. You did. Mm-hmm. And the point is, if you're somebody who's black, who's not going to date another black person, then if you're not going, if that's not what ends up happening, then within your interracial voyage, then you need to make sure that they are down for you. Otherwise, you just setting yourself up for problems.
Yeah.
It's bad enough. The black struggle was bad enough. You want to have another struggle?
You know what? And I've heard of stories like that, man. I mean, they got some, like I said before, they had a brother that I knew a long time, years ago. He was Christian and she's a Christian, and he dated a girl that was from the Philippines. His parents had problems with that, and they broke up. As a result, they broke up over that. She said that. Listen, she listen. How I knew was when she said it. She actually Nightingale actually said it out of her own lips. She said that.
Yeah, you talked about this last episode. Yeah, I know what you. Yeah.
I can't date I can't date Garnett because so and so because he is black. And I'm like, wow.
Well, that's sad because you have the religion part too. So now people who are people who are Muslim dating Christian, that's a tough one, but you do have relationships that are that way.
Or unequally yoked.
Yeah, that's a tough one. You know, and then it's tough in this sense, and culturally too. When you want to have kids, let's get into that.
Okay.
When you want to have kids with somebody of another race, let's break it down this way.
Well, yeah.
Dr. Umar Johnson said, when you marry somebody, you marry their culture. You marry their families.
He's right. Yeah.
He is right. I believe that.
He's right.
Their
He's right.
culture and their customs. Thing is it going to be mutual? If it's not going to be mutual, then it's unfair that one got to give it up for you. So, what happens when you're raising kids? Say you're somebody who's black and you're with somebody who's white. Y'all have kids together, so they're black and white, but they look more black. Question: what do you tell that kid? Do you teach them black pride? Do you teach, because you let's put it like this. He looks more black. Like he looks like that of he's the same complexion of that of a Tracy Ellis Ross. Because Tracy Ellis Ross is mixed.
Yes. Yeah.
But Tracy Ellis Ross doesn't get treated like a white woman.
She's like a black woman.
Right. So she has the white side of the family, but society has chosen for her to be a black woman. The struggle is that she got to claim both. She don't want to make the white side feel like this and the black side feel like that if she don't claim to be black enough. Right. I would say in the case of Obama, there were plenty of people in the there were plenty of people under the umbrella of white supremacy who did not acknowledge Obama as being white, and at that point he didn't have to claim it because they just wanted him to just be black anyway because he looked black to them. Right. And he had a white mother. And he was raised by her. He wasn't raised by his black father from Kenya.
No, he wasn't. No.
So, what do you think the struggles are when raising kids in an interracial, marriage relationship?
I love this question. This topic. First of all, when you raise any ounce of someone that's black is black. Mm-hmm. That's number one. Number two, when you're dating somebody that's when you're with somebody and you have your kids that are biracial, you have your kids that are biracial, you do teach them your black pride, but you also teach them that they have a white side too. Mm-hmm. So you don't ignore one, right. And that's the problem. Sometimes. I heard an actor said this that he's married to a white woman. I'm not gonna probably give his name, but he said he was like he's married to a white woman. And he said his kids. He said when he walks in his house, there is no color whatsoever. He doesn't discuss his kids being black. He just discusses kids that you're human, to love one another, and you're human. Very, very. That's very, very, very. I will say to him, that's very.
That's very
respectable.
All in the family Brady Bunch fairy tale world.
Yes, but it's not reality.
Thank you.
It's not reality. It's not reality because when he goes out there in the world, they're gonna show him who he is.
And there's a show out there called This Is Us. You ever seen that show?
No.
There's a show called This Is Us. I love this show. Very well written show. White family has twins of their own, but they adopted a black child because one of their kids, this is somewhat of a spoiler, one of their kids died in birth. They were going to have triplets. So they ended up adopting a black baby from birth. You know what I'm saying? So they were realizing the struggles of raising a black child because they had to face racism for their child. Now, they weren't oppressed, but they didn't like the fact that their son was facing these issues. And they're like, wow, we have to understand that we have a black child. So he's going to need different things than our own children who are white. This show, basically, because now they're grown, but it just shows flashbacks. This show, very well good show, basically, it's on NBC. That's a small plug. I'm not gonna do it no more because they ain't paying me for that. But very good show. But it also explains some things. It explains his need for wanting to be black because his skin was there, but he wanted to have that connection. Like, wow, I'm black and I want to relate to people who are like me.
Right.
Although this family raised me and I love them, but I'm black. I have a black, because he has a black wife, and he's raising black kids, but he was raised white. So I think that's interesting. Here he was. He could have married a white woman and it would have made sense because his mother's white and his father's white. His his adopted parents.
So he's used to that upbringing. Yeah.
He was used to that upbringing. They were talking about the racism that he went through in the community that they grew up in, and within his within that family. He just so happens to meet his father, his birth father. So that was his only black experience he had really close to him was his dad. But his dad was sick.
Wow.
And he died. Got into his father's life. His dad died of cancer. You know what I'm saying? So I mean that's what I said some things for those who never watched it. But I'm just saying that what about that brother? What about that sister in that situation? Now it would make sense if they did. That's how they grew up.
Yes.
But you said that black father said they don't discuss color. Well, guess what? Here you got families who adopting kids who are not of theirs, and even they have to discuss color.
See? Yes.
So for that man who says he don't discuss color, whoever you are, you a coward. Okay? And one of them, and you know what? Somebody reminds me of that. You said actor, right? I'm going to drop his name. He goes by the name of Tay Diggs.
Yes.
Get the heck out of here.
Yes.
This man got a kid.
I don't want to say his name.
No, I know.
Yeah.
When you were talking about it, and I started to hear you, and I said, oh, I know who he talking about. Tay Diggs. No disrespect to you as a person, but brother, wake the heck up. Doggone well, you're going to have to teach your biracial child or children. I don't know how many kids he had with Idina Menzel. I don't know how many kids he had with her, but whatever kids he had with her, that kid is gonna have to grow up knowing he got a white mother and a black father. And let me tell you something. That brother, and this ain't no diss. That brother darker than me and you combined. So doggone well, he gonna have to someday explain racism to his child. You could avoid it all you want.
But Tay Diggs is more of he's how could I say it, man? It's like he doesn't want to like look at that reality of it, man. I mean, he doesn't really want to look at it. He just wants to be in the.
You know why?
Because he's acting.
Because it's hard for him as a black man to face that every day. Okay, and he's in Hollywood too, so he experiences it on a level that is different from me because I'm not in Hollywood. Okay, but this brother got to deal with it. It don't matter. Don't matter.
Maybe he should watch the movie called Queen.
Maybe he should just.
You ever seen that movie called Queen Roots?
Okay, this is what he should do. I think he knows better. See, I'm not going to speak about him like as if he don't know what it means to be black. No, he does know what it means to be black. But he's afraid of the venom that he has to teach his child because, number one, he teaches his child about white supremacy. Then his child is going to be like, okay, well, what about mom? That's why. That's the biggest challenge. Because the man got to deal with white supremacy, and then he's going to teach his kids about white supremacy, and then he's going to go home to a white mother. Let me tell you something. I wish I could name this one. There's a story of a particular biracial man. His mother's white, his father's black. His father is not in his life. Sadly, I hate when I hear that. But his mother is. His mother and him are separated on racial issues. Go figure.
Separated on racial issues.
Right now, he's not even talking to his white mother because his mother voted for Trump. It made every excuse in the book on why she voted for him. So he struck a chord with his mother. Well, she struck a chord with him. I saw this on some article somewhere. The article was titled "Reasons Why I Don't Talk to My White Mother No More."
Wow, there's a book like that.
It's an article on some website somewhere.
Okay.
And it just goes to show you that just because you have sex with people, don't mean you end in racism. And just because you giving birth to biracial kids, don't mean you actually love them. I'm going there.
Wow.
I don't care how many black babies you give birth to, you can still hate them.
You know who was in that movie with Queen?
Sadly.
Jasmine Guy.
I'm not biracial, so I can't speak a biracial issue. And I would like to have somebody on the show in the future who can speak to that. But I'm telling you right now, this is a struggle that black people are going through. That's what they're going through. I'm gonna bring up a woman. I showed you pictures of her. I did. Quincy Jones' daughter, Rashida Jones.
Yeah.
Her name is as black as it comes. But when you look at Rashida can sometimes often pass for being white. So if Rashida would, I don't know if she's married or not. But I think at one point, I don't know Rashida's dating life. I don't know. But her name is come on, Rashida. That sounds like a sister.
Yeah, Rashida.
Now, her father's Quincy Jones, so technically she is one. Question: does she identify herself as one? I don't know. But I saw her sister. Her sister, I think sometimes looks more black than her. You can say. So then when you look at her, you're like, okay, yeah, definitely that man, your father. I can definitely see that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I'm pretty sure whatever struggle she got to deal with that. But if you're somebody who's like Alicia Keys, who looks unmistakably black, she don't look like a white woman.
Alicia Keys?
But Alicia Keys does not look like a white woman, but she is mixed. Mm-hmm. Okay? You look at her, and you look at her and you say, wow, that's a light-skinned black woman. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure that woman deals with white supremacy. I'm sure she does. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure, there's probably been times where she felt like, well, dang, I got some of my people who black coming at me, and I got white people who don't even acknowledge me. What should I do?
Have you ever seen the movie called Queen?
I've never seen it.
Okay,
explain it. I like because you mentioned it, so explain.
Yeah. That movie Queen is also a continuation of the Roots series, the Roots that Alex Haley Roots. So, in this came up maybe in the mid '90s because who was the star in this movie? It was Halle Berry that was playing the main character. That she was playing the biracial child, and it was also Jasmine Guy in this movie too, I believe too. And this movie, she didn't know where to fit, cause she could have passed. She definitely could pass for white. She was in this movie. Halle Berry was passing for white in this movie because maybe they lightened her skin some way or somehow to make her look white. And
Lord, why?
Yeah, and this movie. So if you look at Queen, she couldn't. She was trying to fit in. What happened was her mother, a white mom, passed, and her father didn't know. Well, actually, not her white mother. Actually, her black mother passed. The black mother was raped by a white plantation owner. So what happened was, if you look at so what happened was she left to fend for herself, and then if she fend for herself, she went poor. She went broke. So she went to. She was trying to fit into the white community, and the white community, she was passing. She was going, they was dealing with her, but somehow, one of the men that was interested in her, white Caucasian men interested in her, found out that she was black, and he went crazy. Oh, he went crazy. So she's left once again. She was left to fend for herself. I seen the movie years ago. I'm trying to remember some glimpse of it. Mm-hmm. And then after that, she found herself being broke. He kicked her out. She was like discharged from that society. So she went to her former. They were former slaves. They were black folks they had their own little community. She went there, and They didn't accept it because they was like, what is this white woman coming around us? So biracial kids have it tough because they try to make a long story short. That's just an example of how biracial kids sometimes they have it tough because they try to fit in. They can swing into either both. They either could choose their black side or they could choose their white side to embrace their black side, or they can embrace their white side. They have a choice to choose because when you look at some of them, they can really pass for the Caucasian side. So they can. There's quite a few of them that can that can actually pass for Caucasian and everything. But I have to say, I really gotta say, and I gotta say, big up to Jesse Williams, man. He can pass for white, but he's very conscious of who he is, man. He really is, man.
No, I don't think he could pass for white.
What you mean, man?
When I look at him, he doesn't look like he could pass for white. Jesse Williams, when I first saw Jesse Williams on Grey's Anatomy, I was like, oh yeah, he's definitely has a biracial look, but he's he's a good example of somebody who's biracial, who is consciously inclined to issues.
What about Chris Humphrey?
I don't know what the heck Chris Humphries is. I need somebody to help me with that one. I know Blake Griffin is half white and half black. Yeah. Chris Humphries kind of look like him in some way. Yeah, okay.
All right. I'm gonna give you one. Derek Jeter.
Derek Jeter can't. I don't think he could pass for white. But I'm gonna go ahead and say something. You touching on some things right now. I'm about to say something right now. I think if Derek Jeter was darker skinned, he wouldn't be liked as much. Yeah. I believe his complexion is what made him so popular for Yankee fans to love him the way they do. Now, I'm not saying they don't like black players. The point I'm making is that I think his complexion helps some people forget what he kind of is. But the moment Derek Jeter, first of all, Derek Jeter doesn't even have a long history of dating black women. So now, let Derek Jeter pull a Kaepernick, because before Kaepernick pulled the Kaepernick, he didn't get this much backlash. No. I want you to hear where I'm going with this. Before Kaepernick pulled the Kaepernick, that fan base had no problem with him. But then when Kaepernick pulled the Kaepernick, then those same people of that other side who was loving him and having his jerseys said, oh, okay. All right. You just touched something inside of me as a person on that side of the spectrum, so I'm now going to burn your jersey. I believe that's what I believe. I believe if Kaepernick wouldn't kneeled and he would have done none of this stuff, he'd be in the league and he still have the same fan base of that other side. They would still be loving him. Now they hate him.
Yes.
A good majority of them. Not all of them. Not all of them. But a good majority of them.
I still love and respect Kaepernick, man. You know who change his skin tone though? I ain't gonna. Sammy
Sosa.
Let's speak on that.
First off, the man look like Tom Hanks now. I saw that man one day. He must have been on some red carpet somewhere. I kid you not. The man was looking like Count Chocula, man.
Is he from Dominican Republic?
Yeah, but you know.
But let me tell you something. They have a complexion complex.
There you go. Okay.
They do.
Okay.
I didn't want to go to, but I just had to. I just had to put it out there.
Well, we talked about that on the Skin Deep series.
Yeah.
Of that.
Yeah. So
people who have a complexion complex shouldn't be dating nobody of outside of their race, because you already have that problem. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, just to kind of get back on topic here, with the dating, here's my thing. If you're gonna be somebody who interracially dates, where you say, you know what, I've always had a fondness for white women, Asian women, So I'm just gonna go out there and get me an Asian. Okay, it's time for me to be honest real quick. No shame here, but I happen to find Asian women attractive. I do. Not just I love my women first. Let me just say that. Okay. But there was a certain time of my young 20s where I said, you know what? If I don't end up getting with a sister, I'm going to go get me an Asian woman or a Latina woman. I had the wrong way about going about things by saying that, but that's the things that I said. I'm going to go ahead and say that never happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's what's going on with that.
Mm-hmm.
I think you need to know who you're going for. I think you need to know what it is that you like. And then you need to find out, if they even like you back. Because you're out there, you're out there trying to get with a white woman, and you're going after a white woman who don't even want to date a brother. And then you get all insecure. You know what I'm saying? No. I would say that some of these dating websites that are interracial based, I guess if they're on there, then it's safe to assume that they're probably going to date brothers. Because why are they on that website? I don't know. But what I'm saying is that, you shouldn't get with somebody who's of a race because that's what you like. I mean, they're still people. They're not animals. It's not like, I want to have a dog, so I'm going to go out there and buy one. People are not like that. You shouldn't do people like that.
It should always be about if you're
should
attracted,
be sincere.
If you're attracted to them, that's one thing, but it also should be about compatibility. It should be about like, I don't want to just date it because she's white. I want to date it because we have a connection. It should be about that. It shouldn't be about we have a connection, but I'm physically attracted to her, but we also have a connection. It shouldn't be about just I want to date it because she's white, or I want to date it because she's the Puerto Rican. I only date Puerto Ricans. It shouldn't be that way. No.
It's got to be sincere. Like the mic down. It's got to be sincere. With anybody, even within your own kind.
Yeah.
It's got to be sincere. Otherwise, it's just based off of just sex. Hey, you kept it real. You said, a lot of times men want to get at somebody because they just picture them in their bed, butt naked, cooking breakfast with their house shoes on. I get that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, in my case, walking around, never mind. So, no, forget it. I'm gonna just go out and say it. When that day comes, my wife, whatever, I'm not gonna lie. I saw a woman who was so attractive. For my brothers and sisters in the faith, just bear with me. But I gotta speak some real talk. I mean, I've seen some women in my life. I'm looking at them. And I'm like, man, this girl look good. I'm scanning her body. Remember I talked about how I scan a woman's body from the top down, down up, side to side. Anyway, I was looking at her. I said, man, I was pitching her in my house, cooking breakfast, butt naked with some stilettos on. Okay? Now, I shouldn't make my decisions based off that, but I'm just saying, as men, we visual. You know what I'm saying? That's just right. So the point I'm making is it still got to be sincere. It got to be sincere. It do. You don't want to end up like a situation where you get with somebody and then you compromise everything. Everything that was on your checklist for this woman is now wiped off the list now because she happens to be a white woman. You were looking for a woman who's compatible with you. Who's respectful, who's loyal, Instead, she's not respectful, she's not loyal, but she just so happens to be white, so you'll get with her because of that. But you, as a brother, you make all these criterias for black women. How about that? A black woman got to be everything under the sun for you, but a white woman don't? Get the heck out of here.
Yeah, she can have love handles and whole lot of weight, but a
sister gotta be
petite,
gotta be built
like a model.
Exactly.
Yeah, come on.
She gotta have all of this and more. She gotta have money.
She gotta
all
have
of this
money.
and more.
Yeah,
but for a white woman, all she just gotta be is white.
Yeah, that's it.
So she ends up looking like freaking
sumo wrestler.
Yeah, she ends up she's 400 plus.
Yeah.
She's disrespectful. She's mean, but because she's white, it works. No, it shouldn't be like that. Mm-hmm. You end up in an abusive relationship like that, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. So that's all I gotta say for that. That was kind of like my final thought. Zaccheus, I'm gonna hand it to you. Anything last you want to say on this issue?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And when it comes to interracial dating, always go with your heart, man. And you know, just choose a person because you know you love them and they're compatible with you. Don't go because don't strive because she's white and everything. So she's feeling me and she's white because I'm gonna just go with her anyway because I'm gonna see how it is. No. Always go with somebody that she feels you feel her, and this is a good you have a good understanding with each other. And that it should be. Then it will work. That's my final thought.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So I want to sincerely do this though. I know last episode I didn't. We were talking about interracial dating. So if I offended anybody, I want to sincerely apologize. It wasn't about that. It was about just pointing out some things. There's nothing wrong with interracial dating if that's what you want to do. I have my take on it, which is very different. And Zaccheus has his take on it. And he's a married man. He's married to a black woman. Mm-hmm. Okay? Has a family with one. You know? Mm-hmm. So this is just our experiences. We were talking about experiences. In the future, we would like to do this again of people of different nationalities. That would kind of help bring some other perspective to the show. Mm-hmm. You know, I would like to in the future do this show, right? And then we could have somebody from the white community, from the Spanish community, from the Asian community, and you know, and so forth and so on, because I think that will help. You know, it just would. I'm open-minded in that way. I know some people hear this and they're like, wow, these guys are so pro-black. No, we're pro-black, but we're not anti-white.
Yes.
But we are not anti-white.
No, we're not. No,
all right?
No. Mm-hmm.
So we're going to get up out of here. Before we do, let's give out our information. Zaccheus, where can they reach you?
Yo, Wayne Bacchus on Wayne Bacchus 2 on Twitter. You can hit me up on Twitter. You can also hit me up on Instagram, Zaccheus, Zaccheus. Zaccheus B73 on Twitter. On Facebook, you also can hit me up with Wayne Bacchus on Facebook or Wayne Zaccheus Bacchus on Facebook. But remember to get that book, A Bad Man, a Thug, and a Gangster, that's available. And also, we have music. You get our music. It's called The Example, Zaccheus and the Fifth General. The Example, that's still available everywhere. Yeah. All
right. You can reach me at the Fifth General, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. At the Fifth General, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Signing off.
Mr. Z.
And Fifth. We're going to get up out of here. We'll see y'all next time.
Yeah.
Peace.